Hi, I am Lydia and I'm going to be leading you through a Vinyasa practice today. I don't have any props with me, but by all means grab yourselves some bricks, some books, or anything that kind of resembles something that you could use to kind of support yourself or lift the earth space to you. Likewise, if you want to grab bolsters, blankets. Today it's 34 degrees, so I am staying far from a blanket, but if it's a little bit chillier, then grab yourselves one of those as well. We're going to start laying on our backs, so take your time to bring yourself all the way down towards your back body. And we'll bring the soles of the feet down towards the ground. We'll have the knees upwards to the sky. And just taking a little moment to make sure you are landing in towards a space of comfort. And let's place the hands just towards the inner spaces of the hip bones. Maybe even letting the thumbs touch and the index fingers come to meet in a diamond shape. And just finding that space where you can begin to settle and soften in towards the earth. Maybe noticing if there's any parts of the physical body that you're holding tension in that you're not necessarily even aware of. Could you allow yourself just to see if you could release the toes? Let go of any gripping around the backs of the shoulders or around the backs of the neck. And expanding the breath, taking a nice big inhale. Open the mouths, exhale. Let's do that one more time. Full deep breath, inhaling. Extra sip of breath at the top. And then a great big exhale outwards. And then either keeping the hands here if that felt right for you, or just allowing yourself to expand and take up a little bit more of your space. Arms might open out wider, feet might become a little bit wider into the mat space as well. And still continuing just to land here. And as we walk through this practice today, I invite you just to take the time to notice the possibilities and the potential within your physicality. Working with this idea that anything can change in a moment, in a blink of an eye. And just seeing if we could really lean into the possibilities of something being changeable within the parameters of this class. Whether for you that's a physical sense of expansion, whether for you that feels like something connected with the heart space or connected with the breath and the thoughts. Just taking time to notice who you are in this moment. And taking that version of yourself with you through the potential of this practice. As you're feeling yourselves become a little bit heavier to the ground, start to gently blink open the eyes. And without disturbing that sensation, let's extend the left leg long. Drawing the right leg in towards the chest space, keeping the left leg long here. Place your left hand outside of your right knee or towards the outer edge of your right thigh as you move in towards a supine twist. And we can really just let that knee settle in towards the ground. Maybe rotating the head, allowing the gaze to fall in towards the right palm. Maybe you get any of those nice juicy cracks through the spine. You're not worrying about perfection, you're just allowing your body to move into a space that it feels a sensation that is desirable within. Breathing a little bit deeper in towards that right side of your lung. Depth of breath into the right side of the rib cage. And then pulling that back through the central space. And sending the right sole of the foot down towards the ground, joining the left foot down towards the ground, 2 knees to the sky. Just allowing yourself to be there, maybe a little bit of resettling through the pelvis, through the hips. And then extending the right leg long, drawing the left leg in towards the chest. So place the right hand outside of left thigh. Pulling that in towards the simple twist, opposite side. Maybe one side of the body feels a little different to the other. Definitely for me, my left side rotation Feels so minute compared to my left, but see if you can find that sense of breath. Here for one more inhale. And we'll draw that all the way back through the central space, and this time just hug 2 legs in towards the bellies. Wrap your arms around your shins, make a decent amount of contact and pressure here so you can almost compress the thighs in towards the bellies. You can soften through the hip flexors a little bit. Any movement that feels right for you. And then we'll pull the hands behind the backs of the knees, take a rock upwards towards our sit bones. Come to cross at the ankles, place the hands out in front of you and step it back in towards a child's pose. Knees connecting with the earth, bum reaching back towards the seat. And just taking a little moment to let the head go heavy towards the floor space here. Deep full breath in towards the back of the lungs, inhale. Heavy exhale. And slowly, you're going to bring ourselves all the way up in towards a kneeling space. I'm going to turn to face you. You can just stay exactly as you are on your mats. And in that kneeling space, we're going to lift our arms outwards, almost like they're reaching towards a Y shape on a diagonal from our shoulders. Spread your fingers really nice and wide. Then make a subtle, almost bowling shape through the hands. We're going to wrap the little fingers forwards and upwards to the sky as we wrap the thumbs back. And take a lifting of your chest open through your throat. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to turn the whole arm from the shoulder to fingertips inwards, bringing the chin towards the chest and rounding through the spine, show the palm to the sky. And moving in and out of these spaces, so inhale to lift, wrap through the little fingers, open through the heart, throat, and chest. Exhale, starting to turn the thumbs backwards, palms to sky, chest to throat. Gorgeous. We're going to move through 5 of these, so with breath, inhale. Moving as you exhale. You might be a little faster, a little slower than me. That's totally fine. We have 4 more. And see if you could really focus on not necessarily leading the movement from the hand, but leading the movement from the shoulders, or letting the spiraling of the hand inform how much you're moving that shoulder girdle or that shoulder complex. Let's take 1 more of this together. Inhale. And then exhale, wrapping into the space. Beautiful. And bringing the arms back towards the ceiling space as we inhale, reach a prayer to sky. As you exhale, send the hands towards the earth. Pull yourself forwards in towards a tabletop position. Let's send the right arm forwards, upwards, and backwards. Inhale. And place the fingertips down to face towards the thigh. Heel of the hand goes forwards as you exhale. Same on the opposite side. Left arm goes forwards, up and back. Inhale. So the 2 hands are planted down towards the ground. We're opening through the backs of the wrists. We'll take a little breath here. Inhale, rock your weight further forwards. As you exhale, just send the weight of the bum backwards towards the heels. Doesn't have to be super far at all. And you're just going to take that 2 more times, rocking a little bit further forwards as you inhale. Expanding clavicles, and exhale, starting to feel that subtle reach of bum towards heels. 1 more, opening through the wrist space, inhaling. Feeling that stretch through the forearms as you exhale. So nice. Let's bring that back through our neutral spaces. Turn the hands back around, spread the hands super nice and wide. And as you push down towards the palms, let's feel that sense of lifting up and out through the shoulders. You're going to tuck the toes under. We're going to go through cat-cows, keeping the toes tucked. Lowering down through the navel point, open through the chest, shine bright through the heart space. Inhale. As you exhale, bring it back through neutral spine. Pushing towards the palms, hover the knees an inch from the ground. You have 3 more here, so the knees lower down. Navel lowers down, heart goes forwards. Can you send your chest through your arms? Extend your breath. Exhale back through neutral. Hover the knees, pushing towards the palms. Feel that little bit of heat. Knees go back down towards the ground space. Lower through navel 1 last time. Open through your heart, chest, and throats. Pushing in towards your palms. Inhale. Hover your knees 1 inch. See if we can just stay here for a moment. Connecting to the feeling, the sensation of where you are. Potential to perhaps ease into the space. And then send those knees back down towards the ground. Gorgeous. Keeping the left toe untucked. Extend your right foot towards the back of the mat, lifting through the right leg. Inhale. You're going to cross your right knee behind your left knee as you exhale. And just take a little pivot so the toes swing outwards, the knees are central. You're going to rock your weight further forwards in towards your fingertips. Inhale. And then push your bum towards your heels of feet as you exhale, and the left knee will just peel away from the mat space here. Let's take 4 like this. So going forwards as you inhale, leaning weight into hands and pushing bum towards the heels or in towards the ground space as you exhale. 2 more forwards as you inhale, a little bit of manipulation through the hips and spine. Exhale to push the bum backwards. And we have 1 more, rocking it forwards as you inhale. And then sending it backwards as you exhale. We'll just release the seat all the way down this time. So you're sitting with the legs crossed. Lift the arms upwards to the ceiling space. Inhale, finding that breath. As you exhale, take the hands back out in front of you. Unravel the legs. Find that space. Tuck toes, cat-cow. Navel goes low, chest goes up. Breathe in. Pushing in towards the palms, find your neutral. Hover the knees. Send your gaze towards the tip of the nose. Take a deep, full breath in towards the edges of the lungs. Send your knees back down towards the ground. Keep right toe tucked for a moment. Extend your left leg up and back behind you. Inhale. Cross the knees, pivot the toes outwards. Push the bum towards that space between your heels. Exhale. Bring it forwards as you inhale. You have 3 more. Exhale to push back. Can you resist the ground? Inhale to bring it forwards. So it's not necessarily light work, there's a little bit of effort. Exhale, pushing towards the palms, let the arms fire up. And bring that forwards as you inhale. Once more, you're going to push that backwards as you exhale. And drawing it forwards as you inhale. Gorgeous, unravel through the legs. And this time, just set the bum backwards towards the heels, but move in towards the tips of the fingers. So the heels of the hands pull away, you press down through the finger pads. Forehead settles to the ground. Take a deep, expansive breath. Inhale. Open your mouths. Exhale. Once more to breathe in. Gorgeous. Slowly, slowly, we're going to bring ourselves all the way up to seat here in our child's pose. Expand your arms wide and high to the sky and send your gaze upwards towards your thumbs. Breathe in. As you exhale, send your hands down towards the ground space. Tuck through your toes, lift your hips, bring it in towards your first Adho Mukha, downward facing dog. And for this downward facing dog, step your feet about mat width distance apart, so perhaps a little unfamiliar into where you normally practice. And as you press in towards your palms, there can be this sense of buoyancy through the knees, through the hip space. But can you keep the arms pretty powered on, pressing in towards the floor? Shoulders may be drawing towards the ears as you subtly press your chest back through your inner legs. And then just taking time to pause here. Pull your chest now a little further forwards. Away from your thighs, connect your navel to the spine. Let's start to find our nasal breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more breath. Inhaling. Exhale. And keep your nasal breath from this wide base. Roll forwards in towards your high planks as you inhale. Send your pelvis down and lift your chest upwards towards the sky. Expand through heart and throat. As you exhale, press your bum all the way backwards into downward facing. And let's return to a downward facing dog that feels familiar, that we know well. Notice the difference in sensation. See how you breathe. Can you wrap in towards the arms, push in towards the palms, tone through the fronts of the thighs. Spiral your knees towards your earlobes. Inhale. Take a rise towards your tiptoes. Look forward. Step your right foot, step your left foot towards the top of the mat space. Opening in towards your heart and chest. Inhaling. Uttanasana to forward fold as you exhale. Rising up to standing, Urdhva Hastasana, draw prayer to sky. Exhale, place your hands by your hips, Tadasana. Root through the toes, prayer goes up. Inhale. Uttanasana to forward fold. Exhale. Halfway lift. Inhale. Chin to shin. Exhale. Step back, downward facing dog. Landing for 1. Rising to tiptoes, breathe in. Send your knees down towards the ground, set your bum towards your heels, Balasana, child's pose. Lift your arms wide and high to the ceiling. In that kneeling space, send your gaze upwards to sky. Inhale. Release your hands to the ground as you exhale. We flow a little. Tuck toes, lift hips high.
Right leg lifts towards the ceiling space, inhale. Knee towards the nose as you exhale, right foot between your hands, left knee lowers. Arms go wide then high, Anjaneyasana, inhale. Hands frame right foot as you exhale, step left foot to meet it, top of mat space. Open heart, inhale. Chin to shin, forward fold, exhale. Rise upwards, arms go wide and high, gather energy and breath. Uttanasana, forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift on inhale. Step back with your right foot, send your right knee down to ground. Arms go wide then high, inhaling. Frame your left foot, exhale. Step back, downward facing. Roll through your spine, find a high plank, inhaling. Send your pelvis down, draw your heart to sky. Exhale, pull it back, downward facing dogs. Rise towards your tiptoes, inhale. Send your knees towards the earth, exhale. Bum releases towards the heels, child's pose. Round the spines, let the heads be heavy. Arms go wide then high, upwards, inhale. Breath extends, heart extends, arms extend. Hands go down towards the floor, exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts towards the ceiling, split leg downward facing. Knee towards the nose, plant your left foot in between your hands. Right knee lowers down to the ground, arms go wide then high, inhale. Frame left foot, exhale. Right foot steps to meet it, top of mats. Chin from shins, halfway lift, inhale. Chin to shin, exhale. Rising to standing, push down through toes, inhaling. Uttanasana to fold, exhale. Follow your breath, halfway lift. Step back with your left foot, send your left knee down. Arms go wide then high, Anjaneyasana, inhale. Frame right foot, exhale. Step back, downward facing dogs. Roll forwards, high plank, inhale. Pelvis goes down, exhale, heart goes up. All the way back to downward facing this time. Pause in downward facing dog and just let that movement settle in towards your physicalities. Remembering or reminding yourselves to open up to the possibilities of potential. The possibilities of shifting perhaps where you once were, into a new space, into a new landscape, into a new feeling. Gorgeous. Lift your right leg high to the ceiling space, inhale. Bending through the knee and opening through the hip, exhale. Step your right foot outside of your right hand. Lower your left knee down towards the ground space. Lift your right arm up towards the ceiling, inhale. Option to pause, maybe keeping left toe tucked, reaching right arm behind you. Push firm towards the left palm, reach back with your right hand. Sending left hip a little further forwards, expanding, rotate the palm upwards to sky. Bring the right arm up and over on the inside of the right foot. Step it back, downward facing dog. Roll forwards in towards your high plank, inhale. Pause into the high plank for a breath. Send your knees down. Open through your chest, inhale. Baby chaturangas, exhale. Small cobra, inhale. We're going to pause in small cobra. Pressing towards the palms, drag them backwards towards your rib cage. Feel like your elbows are drawing inwards as your heart is actively going further forwards. Smaller in its shape than upward facing dog, but much more powerful often. Rooting through the tops of the feet, can you stay? Maybe hands hover from the ground. Can you breathe into this for one? Hands go back in towards earth. Push bum towards heels, tuck your toes, lift your hips, Adho Mukha, downward facing. Left leg goes high to ceiling, inhale. Gorgeous, step your left foot outside of your left hand, exhale. Right toe stays tucked, lower right knee to earth. Left arm goes up to ceiling, inhale. Use that connection with right hand to reach up and back with left arm. As you go there, keep pressing positive pressure through left heel, reaching actively back in space with left fingers. Turn that left palm to sky, we hold. Beautiful, up and over, hand on inside of foot. Push it back, downward facing. Moving forwards, high planks, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing on the inhalation. Downward facing exhale. Take a deep breath. As you push down, can you feel this very subtle tilt of pelvis, almost as if your pubic bone is coming a little bit closer towards your chin, and that you're trying to lengthen the space in the lowest part of your spine, top of your glutes. Pressing in towards your palms, wrap your arms inwards. Lengthen your spines, rise towards your tiptoes, inhale, look forwards. Step right foot, step left foot to top of mat as you exhale. Halfway lift through heart space, inhaling. Uttanasana, forward fold, exhale. Rising up to standing prayer, goes high to the ceiling, we breathe in. Hands by your side, exhale, Tadasana. We're going to bring the arms wide and high towards the sky as we inhale. Interlace all your fingers except your first ring and your thumb, find Kali Mudra. Step your feet about hip width distance apart. Reaching up through those fingertips, taking an inhale. Press down firmly through the left foot in particular as you side bend over towards the right hand side. Can you keep your head in your arms? As you press firm into left foot, could you press the left side of your hip a little bit farther towards the left hand side of your space? Draw that back through center, inhale. Same to our second side, firm pressure through right foot. Lean into the space, inhale. And then press the right side of your hip a little further towards the right hand side as you exhale. All the way back through center, inhale. Releasing to fold, exhale. Halfway lift through heart on inhalation. Planting down through palms as you exhale, step it back, high plank. Pause in high plank space. Take a little moment, maybe rocking forwards, maybe pressing heels backwards. Maybe feeling that sense of scooping or hollowing through the navel point. And then reaching the gaze forward, shoulders forwards, inhale, chaturangas, exhale. Upward facing, expand. Downward facing, exhale, hips go high. Deep full breath in through nose. Enjoy it. Lift your right leg high to the ceiling space, inhale. Take a bend of your right knee and open through your hip as you exhale. As you do this, could you lift your right knee a little higher, upwards, leading as if someone's pressing your thigh to sky? Maybe roll your gaze underneath your right armpits and length down the inner seam of the left leg. Then we step our right foot outside of our right hand once more. Left knee goes down towards the ground space. Right arm goes up towards ceiling, inhale. Option to pause where we were, reach back, or bending in towards your left knee, perhaps you catch a hold of the top of the foot, or with a flex foot, you're going to reach your right hand towards your left shin. Press a flex foot backwards as if your toes are going to tuck under. Right knee pulls away. Can you actively, by pressing your shin or foot into your hand, feel like you're opening up through your chest space? Lift your heart and gaze a little higher and hold for 2. Lift your right arm high to the sky, tuck the left toe under. Right arm stays high. Lift through the left knee, make an easy twist. Inhale, look upwards towards right palm. As you exhale, take a quarter circle behind you with arm and gaze. Push in towards 2 feet and lengthen through the right leg. Tap your right fingertips out in front of you, almost like a single-legged forward fold. 4 more here, bending in towards the right knee, half circle behind you, simple twist. Push down through the feet to lift upwards through hips. Tap right fingers far away, heavy head. 3 more, bending in towards the right knee, looking behind you, inhale. Lifting through hip and pelvis, tapping as you exhale. 2 more, bending through right knee, opening through the heart space, inhale. Bring it up and over, exhale. Last one here, simple twist, inhaling. Opening and tapping down as you exhale. From here, you're going to release 2 fingertips down to the ground. Keep the flexion through the right foot. Come to tented fingertips, open through the heart. Ground down your left heel. Heel toe the right foot in a little bit. Pressing in towards your right fingertips with a brick or to the earth space. Lifting your left arm up high to sky, inhale. Now see if we can start to feel an elongation and lengthening through your right leg through Utthita Trikonasana. Option to stay here. Option to extend your right fingertips underneath your groin, pushing down and opening through the chest as you carry the left arm alongside the head. Don't worry about perfections here. See if you could almost feel like you're changing the shape 3%. And just let the information of those subtle changes settle into the physicality and the spaces that you know. See if there's potential to lean into that for one more full breath in. Gorgeous. We're releasing. 2 hands go down either side of your right foot. Subtle bending towards your right knee. Extend your left leg up towards the ceiling and make a standing split. Inhale. Step your left foot next to your right foot, top of mat. Exhale. Heel toe your feet about mat width distance apart. Turn your toes out, bend your knees. Draw it in towards Malasana squats. Hands will find prayer at the heart space. As your hands find prayer, press into that prayer. Lifting through your chest. Inhale. Maybe to pause, come a little higher than your full flexibility, so sit just above that space. And as you sit just above that space, can you press down and feel like the knees wrap backwards? Hover to breathe. Inhale. Maybe lift your arms upwards to the sky, curl the fingertips in, make a fist. Feel that there's effort through that fist as if you're punching up to the ceiling. And as you reach in those 2 opposing directions, keep wrapping the knees backwards. Full deep breath. Inhale. Drive through the heels, come up slowly, push down, extending through legs, breathe in. Exhale, turn toes forwards and fold in towards your thighs. Halfway to lifting towards your heart space. Inhale. Plant down through your palms. Exhale, step it back, find a high plank. Breathe into your high plank for 1 breath in. Chaturanga. Exhale. Upward facing on the inhalation. Downward facing on the exhale. Little moment to pause. Gorgeous. Left leg goes high to ceiling. Inhale. Bend the knee and open through the hip as you exhale. Pause. Then imagine someone's pressing your thigh backwards and upwards to open and almost stack left hip on top of right. Move that right hip socket a little bit. Get that stretch right down that inner seam of the right leg. Maybe roll the gaze. Let this be a space that feels right for you. And then step your left foot outside of your left hand. Lower your right knee down towards the ground. Left arm goes high. Inhale. So either you're going to pause, you're going to stay, or what I really want you to feel is a sense of activity through your muscles, through the length of your limbs. So bending through the foot, perhaps holding it, and not just being like, okay, cool, that's where I am, but seeing how you could challenge that space, work with the potential or the possibility of more. Pressing in towards the hand, can you kick that foot backwards? So as you kick it back, almost like a slingshot, pressuring towards left heel. Toes expand, open through that chest. There's expansion in the muscle here. Gaze maybe rolls a little higher. Full deep breath in for 1 more. And then we release. Right toe tucks under. Left arm travels to the sky. We move into that easy twisted space as we inhale. Pressing down, we take that quarter circle of arm behind us. Exhale. We lift up through the hip points, lengthen. Take a little moment just to pause, fingertips down. Find that breath, and then we're bending in towards that knee space, opening through the chest and heart. Lifting through the legs, inhale. Tap left fingertips out in front of you, flexion through left toes. You have 4 more here, bending to expand. Let the chest and heart move. Pressing down to lift and come up and over. You have 3, bending in towards your left knee, opening through your chest space. Inhale. Pressing to come up and over as you exhale. Gorgeous. This next one that we move through, we're going to pause. 2 fingertips can go down. Just take your little moment to be there with 1 hand first. And then 2 hands go down, flexing towards that left foot. Lift through your chest space. Inhale, ground down your right heel. Make space for your left foot to connect with the ground. Left hand connects. There can be a subtle bend in this left knee initially. Lift it up with your right arm. Extend it to the ceiling, breathe in. And start to explore the potential of lengthening left leg. Maybe to hold it, or maybe to drive left hand underneath pubic bone or towards your back right heel. Can you press your spine to the space behind you? Can you lay your skull into the space behind you? Maybe to hold or send your right arm alongside your head. Two more breaths here, inhaling. Releasing. Right fingertips go down, left fingertips go down. We meet the earth space. Right leg floats to sky. Inhale, light effort. Exhale, stepping right foot next to left foot, then turning the toes out, widening the base for Malasana squats. Hands are in towards prayer at the heart center. As you find this space, take a lift through your chest. Did I mention it was 34 degrees? Taking that lift, inhale. And just let yourself drop into wherever it is you are. We can create these narratives that are really distracting for ourselves in the practice. Trying to make things better, trying to wish things were different, that we were better or that we were different. But that really limits us from this kind of potential space that we're trying to connect with, that we're trying to be in. Come a little higher with your pelvis. See, with every little bit that you can just channel a little bit more upwards energy. Embrace where you are, take a full breath. Maybe lift your arms to sky, reaching as high as you can. Effort in arms, curl your fingertips in. Be so fine with just being in the practice. Reach up even more, press your heels up towards the ceiling, inhale. Turn your toes forwards, folding towards your legs, exhale. Lift through your heart space, inhale. Folding chin to shin, exhale. Make a vinyasa, or if you're with me, just step back, downward facing dogs. Pause in the downward facing. And just find stillness. And we all know that these kind of more dynamic spaces or dynamic practices work as a beautiful distraction for us. We can kind of get into this moving meditation. But the challenge is really letting yourself find what stillness is when the opportunity for stillness arises. Framing it not as a space to wiggle your toes or to shift your hips even, to grab a sip of water or adjust your clothes, but a space to really acknowledge. Assess the mind, assess the breath. And be curious about those spaces. That's what really makes this practice exciting. Stunning. We're going to lift our right leg high to sky. Inhale. Bend your knee and open through your hip as you exhale. Lovely. You're going to draw your knee towards your nose. Step your right foot in between your hands. Send your left knee down towards the ground and expand the arms wide and high to the ceiling space. Inhale. You're either going to pause with arms high or take Kali Mudra. Lifting upwards in towards the space. Pressure in towards the right heel. Feel like you're dragging your left thigh, your left hip further forwards. As you drag your left thigh and left hip further forwards, can you then think about moving into the upwards space? Leaning the ribs further forwards and then lifting the chest up. Now, I invite you to open through the throat. To reach a little more powerfully through your fingers. One more breath, inhale. Exhale back through neutral. Release your fingertips down towards the ground, tuck through your left toe. Lifting through your left knee, we're going to rise upwards, high crescent lunge, inhale. Find high crescent lunge, lunge a little deeper towards the right knee, exhale. From this space, you're going to lift that left knee just a little bit higher. So you're trying to pull yourself slightly further away from the ground. Turn your palms further forwards. Bring your chin towards your chest, round through your spine. And think about the top of your head dropping down in towards your thighs. Press your arms behind you and upwards towards the ceiling. Hold in the rounded spine. This is a cat-cow. It's pretty hard to talk here. Breathe in through 3. Imagine I'm pressing in towards your palms. Resist me. One more breath. Gorgeous. Release. Lift your arms up towards the ceiling space. Inhale. The juiciest bend of left knee and elbows for cactus. Exhale. Up on your inhalation. Bending in towards the right knee, find warrior two. So moving towards warrior two, can you really think about expanding from that central space? Lunge into the leg, reach through two arms. Holding. Press your right toes further forwards via your heel. Root down through the left little toe side of the foot. Hold in the experience for two. Beautiful. Draw your right forearm to your thigh. Extend your left arm alongside your head and lift through your right side lung. Inhale. Pause here. I want you to think about wrapping your right side of lung upwards towards your left inner elbow. Once you've found that space, maybe then send the right hand on the inside of the leg. Push down to the fingertips, apply pressure into the earth. Lift your left hip a little higher rather than dropping it down to the ground. Maybe send your gaze in towards your left palm. Simple, clear breath for one. Beautiful. Slowly take your gaze down towards the ground space. Bring it all the way back up in towards your warrior two. Let yourself land there. Inhale. Windmill the arms and frame the right foot as you exhale. Heel toe your right foot towards the edge of the space subtly. Plant down through your left foot. Right arm lifts towards the sky. We're back in simple twist. Inhale. Option here to take that half circle of the right arm behind you as you exhale. And then lift the arm over the head and just move through the arm space. Or alternatively, send the left knee to the ground, modify the side plank. If you're with me, move into the side plank space, right arm is high. Push down. Option to pause, option to drop the left hip to the ground. Right hand comes by your right knee. Push down into left hand, outer edge of left foot. Arc all the way up and over, crescent moon. One more only, drop down through left hip. Press down, bring it all the way up. Take a breath. Expand through the right side lung, inhale. Two hands find the ground, exhale. High plank space. Send your knees low. Push your bum towards your heels, find child's pose. As you pause, either in child's pose or bring yourselves up to high kneel. I want us to connect a little bit with the simplicity of the practice. I think sometimes we always expect, especially in these modern day spaces or social media spaces, that everything has to be so different all the time, super creative. But actually, I really want us to just take time and to land in the process of the practice, to land in the simplicity of the practice. And think not always about what can you give me, what's more, what's more, what's more, what's different, what's new, but understand the practice from the aspect or from the experience of the self. So don't inquire as to what the teachings are, inquire into the possibilities within. Let yourself be into this space, lean into this space. You're here for one. We're coming back. Let's meet in a downward facing dog. Glistening with sweat over here. Press the palms down towards the ground. Tuck the toes, lift the hips to the sky. We're extending our left leg up towards the ceiling space as we inhale. Reaching into that space, maybe a bending through the knee. And then gathering the knee towards the nose, placing left foot in between the hands. We find Vinyasa. Right knee goes down. Connection through the foot. Arms go wide, then high. Find Kali Mudra. So you want to feel, not that you're just dropping down into space, pelvis forwards, hips forwards, then everything scoops upwards. Arms extend. Rib cage forwards, chest high, sternum high. Inhale. When we're in this space where the throat is kind of feeling like it wants to bring the chin down to the chest, maybe you could just feel like you could slightly open it. What's the experience there? Can you soften into that? One more inhale. Neutral. Hands go down towards the ground. A little bit of leverage, tuck through the toe, lift through the right knee. Root through the feet, bring it all the way in towards your high lunge. Inhale. So we find a high lunge space, but we're not really dropping. We're bending through the knee. We're just pulling that right knee up slightly. Engage through the glute space to reach through your arms. Turn your palms forwards. Inhale. Chin to chest, round your spine. You scoop your navel. Think about your head touching the top of your thigh as your arms press backwards. Reach through the arms. Try to touch something behind you and then press them up to sky. Find the efforts. Hollow the navel space. Breathe through 3. Be small in the front of the body for 1. Lift your arms upwards to the ceiling. Inhale. Bend through the right knee and the elbows. Exhale. Up to ceiling on inhale. Virabhadrasana B, warrior 2. Bending in towards the left knee. Reaching through your arms. Focus down your left middle finger. Feel like you're tearing the mat. Expand from the center outwards. I always feel this little moment within myself where I'm quite tense for the first breath or so. And then there's just this sense of freedom, emancipation, where you just let yourself go into it, not in terms of switching off the effort or switching on the discipline, but just really being here and noticing. In that noticing, you notice if the breath is tight. You notice where the space is constricted, where you could expand it a little bit more. Draw your left forearm on towards your left thigh. Right arm goes alongside your head. Inhale. A little bit of pressure in towards the left forearm, spiral left rib cage up towards right elbow. Keep the space between the left side waist and the left thigh. Left hand goes down to ground. Could you use the muscles of the left arm, the shoulder of the left arm, the bones of the left arm to slot in towards your inner thigh and press your knee backwards? One more breath, extended side angle, inhale. We bring it all the way back up, warrior 2. Looking down your left middle finger. When will your arms frame your left foot? You know your options here. Heel to your left foot a little wider. Maybe we go simple twist. We stay here, we move the arm, we fluctuate through the space there. You send right knee down, you send right shin down, or you step it back, side plank. Feel the breath, inhale. Exhale, drop the hip, arm is by your side. Holy hell, pressing towards the hands, left arm goes alongside the head. One more, say a prayer, hip goes down. Pushing into palm, alongside the head, inhale. Breathe into that space, expand. 2 hands connect to earth. Pause in high plank space, inhale, knees lower, exhale. Bum towards the heels of feet, child's pose. Child's pose isn't for you. Bring yourself up to high kneeling. It's not really for me. And if you're going high kneeling, turn the palms to sky. Can you let yourselves just breathe? And eventually we will all meet in this kneeling space, with the palms facing upwards with the eyes closed, taking a little bit of quiet work. So we're going to find a breath without the pause, without that little suspension or that hold in the breath. So you're just inhaling, you're just exhaling. But sometimes when we inhale, we try to suspend it at the top a little bit and we hold that transition before we exhale. I want you to just breathe, kind of more focused than just your natural breath. But you're going to inhale through the nose. And just as soon as that needs to exhale, you exhale super smoothly. Before that exhale feels like it's forced out, you inhale. So we're controlling the lengths here a little bit. So inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And just keep doing that. Breathing in and out. There's no force. There's no flutter of breath. And just feeling how powerful it is and how quickly your body can calm from doing this with your breath. And keeping that breath length. Blink open your eyes exactly as we open. Lift your arms towards the sky. Wrap through your little fingers, open through your chest. Inhale. Follow the breath. Exhale. Just for 3. Inhale, move the shoulders. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Lift the arms. Inhale. Hands to ground. Exhale. Just scooching the knees back. They stay connected with the ground. Chest goes a little further forward as we breathe in. Lower your body all the way down towards the ground. Bring your feet about mat width distance apart. Press through the tips of your fingers here. As you press down through the tops of the feet, pressing down, feeling a lift of the navel so the pubic bone connects. Lift the navel up, and then from the navel, start to lift your chest. Lifting the navel up and extending it forwards. Inhale. Shoulders draw down. Push through the fingertips, open through the throat. Holding for 2. Send your chest back down to the ground. Bend your elbows. 2 more. Navel lifts first. Push through feet, open through heart and chest. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Let your chest be broad. Think of navel going forwards, but also upwards. And release, bring that all the way back down to the ground. Send the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck the toes of the hips, bring it back to downward facing dog. Moving like liquid through 2 ripples of the spine here, almost like you're massaging from the inside out. Bring your chin towards your chest, go forwards into high planks. Inhale. Bend your knees, send your hips all the way back up into sky. Exhale. Once more, rolling through your spine. Inhale. Bending through your knees, wave it back. Exhale. And letting yourself pause here. Deep breath in. And we're going to take our eyes towards our tiptoes, look forwards out in front, and bring the seat all the way down towards the ground. And as the seat comes down towards the ground space, soles of the feet connect, we're going to bring the hands behind us. Pressing in towards the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands. Draw yourself upwards, reverse tabletop. Inhale. Open through shoulders, open through throat. Exhale, just tap the button back down towards the floor space. For 2 more, push down. Inhale, unpeel. Bum towards ground. Exhale. Last one, pushing down through feet. Inhale. Maybe to stay or to lengthen through the legs. Purvatanasana, make sure the big toes connect. Open throats. Seat to earth. Bring the head up, forwards. Bend through your knees, reach your arms up towards the ceiling space. Inhaling. Going all the way down towards our backs as we exhale. Once you meet the back space, come back to where we began with the arms open, soles of the feet connected. Let the breath just do what the breath needs to do. Really beautiful. Then from this space, we're going to draw the right leg in towards the chest. This time, cross your right leg over your left leg once or maybe twice. Step the left foot towards the right edge of the mat, shuffle the hips there too. Maybe double wrapping through the knees, twisted roots, or dropping them over towards one side, experiencing the supine twist again. Reaching through the right fingers, maybe placing your left hand towards your left hip crease, and just pressing that down a little bit, opening through the right side of the waist. So working through a practice of all the elements really, if you like to kind of tune in and connect with what the elements are in your practices. A little bit of hip work, opening in towards the water space. Back bends to open into the heart, twists to connect with fire. Moments of birth. Draw the legs all the way back through center, allow them to unravel. Left leg is going to cross over the right leg once or maybe twice. Just step that right foot to left hand side of mat. Shuffle the hips in the same direction. Rotate into the twist. This hand places the crease of left hip. I really like this just to give a little bit more space. And as you press down, generally you might feel a little bit of that extra rotation around the rib cage space, mid part of your back. One more full breath in. Bringing that all the way back through center. We're going to unravel and bring two soles of the feet towards the ground. So an offering for a back bend here, if you have some props to hand and you're wanting something that resembles more like a restorative bridge, then place a pillow, a brick, a book, or a couple of books underneath the base of your spine, lift it upwards and just find this space. Elevated hips. You could also interlace your fingers here. You can press down through palms, or offering to come upwards in towards your full Ardha Dhanurasanas, just to really connect in towards that heart center. Connection through palms, soles of feet, head goes to earth first. Press evenly through hands and feet. Whichever back bend you're in, we're just going to breathe through 6 breaths. Maybe closing the eyes and thinking about that balancing breath. You could engage your glutes, you could lift your navel point a little bit higher, think about lengthening through the frontal hip points. And slowly returning down. Taking your time to come spine to ground. And then from that space, just hugging legs into chest. A little cuddle for the self. And it's perhaps in this space that you notice the different textures or the different feelings within your body. And we've really slowed it down here. We need time, we need space within our practice to observe. And just pausing with those legs drawn in. Maybe checking in this moment what type of closing you need. Whether that's seated meditation, whether that's shavasana, whether you want to refine a restorative pose, legs up the wall, somewhere to rest it. But definitely do it, don't press pause. However you're going to get there, begin to get there. If you're with me, wrap the arms around the fronts of the shins, lift the nose to meet the knees as you inhale. Then releasing down as you exhale. And as you settle into final shavasana, wherever it is you're going, can you peel the body open a little bit more, so let the toes fall out? If you're in a space where palms can face the sky, let the palms face the sky. Take a really deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Breathe in. Sigh it out. If you have the time to stay for longer, always stay for longer. For feeling ready to move, maybe you start to bring the awareness back to any sounds you hear outside of your spaces. Opening up your awareness to other life and just accepting its presence. Maybe even starting to enjoy it. And starting to bring yourselves back out in towards those public spaces, or just out of this deeper sense of stilling that you're in. Bringing a little bit of movement into fingers, a little bit of movement into toes. We start to gather and bring ourselves up to seat in whichever way feels habitual or just right for you today. And seeing perhaps if we can keep the eyes closed as we make our journey back upwards to seat. And placing the hands over the heart space, or bringing the hands in towards prayer and Jali Mudra Heart Center. And giving yourself a moment of gratitude for arriving to this practice. There's this really beautiful idea, like I said at the beginning of the practice, where anything can change in a moment, a blink of an eye. Your whole life could be different. And your practice can truly change when you put value in anything and everything becoming possible, becoming better, becoming life-changing within the parameters of the time. And those feelings of trying to pursue something that is different or better or not better, confronting from where you just were into somewhere new, is something that you can carry with you for the rest of your days, the rest of your weeks, constantly creating these shifts and changes to get to a space of honesty and truth to who you really are. Collectively, take a full breath in. Breathe out. Feel with me, lift thumbs to Ajna Chakra, space between your eyebrows. Continue to practice, and all is coming. Thank you so much for joining me as always. I hope you enjoyed it, and I can't wait to lead you through so many more. Thank you.